You know, I want him to do as many burpees as he has tattoos on his body, and then ask you and me to do the same one of those, or again a high-end cross. It's going to prove, holy shit, the kid can't even finish, and you're here.
I'm here with Stu. He's my gym owner. Obviously, you guys have seen him on Crossfit a couple times here and there, and today we're gonna go through and watch the video that I'm sure a lot of you have seen. It's been pretty hyped up on YouTube. It's called The Problem with CrossFit. All the people that obviously like CrossFit and promote it, they've all been saying how this guy is saying all this terrible stuff about CrossFit, and well, it's true. Yes, he does downplay CrossFit and give it some shame. I do think that he does have some valid points, and me being a CrossFitter, you know, you might be like, dude, what the heck, you're agreeing with him? But in my opinion, and I'm interested to see if Stu agrees, he does have some valid points.
Stu's got some tats, huh?
Dude, lots of tats. Before we start it, tell everyone how CrossFit has changed your life, like your whole story with CrossFit and stuff.
So,
you perceive it.
Again, I'm like pre-Bach, early days, like 2005, 2006, when it was grungy and hardcore, and it was, you know, more of like, I had shirts that said, you know, CrossFit workouts will smoke you like cheap crack. Like that was like, it was like cool to be, is like the Sons of Anarchy hardcore motorcycle gang,
like
Harley Davidson.
The more hard you were.
Correct, yeah. Obviously it's evolved, it's popular. However, I look at CrossFit like, and I'm stealing this line from Greg Glassman, who founded it, CrossFit's like a blueberry muffin recipe. It's not a piece of software. Chris has a blueberry muffin recipe. I've got a blueberry muffin recipe. His blueberry muffins suck. They taste horrible. I think mine are the best. And he thinks the inverse. So CrossFit, again, it's, you know, you have the technical definition, constantly varied functional movements at high intensity. I look at my CrossFitting today, looks so much different than what it did back in 06.
Today, we're gonna be talking about the problem with CrossFit. All CrossFit workouts are based on functional movements, and these movements reflect the best aspects of gymnastics, weightlifting, running, rowing, and more. So that sounds great, I'm totally with that. Now, the problem is that over the years has become to do as many reps as you can in as short amount of time as possible, which would mean the faster you do your reps in the shortest amount of time possible equals the more efficiency. What actually gets you better, stronger, and more efficient is progressional training with proper form and proper technique. I've had students come into my gym from a CrossFit gym being able to do 30 kipping pull-ups in a row, sometimes 40, but yet they can't do simple, basic pull-ups.
Pause it. Muscle up. Does this guy sell training progressions online?
I don't know.
I would imagine he does. Again, it's a clickbait statement, but the statement that there's no progression, that'd be like, you know, it's an individual gym thing, right? You know, maybe there's some gyms that do it, but again, like it's just it's an overarching broad statement, a blanketing statement to blanket 15,000 CrossFit gyms around the world. And again, they're making a statement like CrossFit is a problem. It'd be like saying pizza's the problem. Pizza sucks. And then again, a guy with deep dish in Chicago thinks his stuff's the shit. A dude with thin slice in New York City thinks his stuff's the shit. And then California, you know, it's just different. But again, those overarching blanket topics, like there's no progression, it either shows, okay, the clickbaitiness of the video or the ignorance of understanding really what the whole thing is and how some gyms do a really, really good job, and they do teach progressions and so on and so forth.
You see, those couple seconds right there are gonna be way more intense on your body than the 30 kipping push-ups that you're doing right here. Right here.
Love the kipping push-ups.
You're really not doing anything.
It's my favorite move.
In fact, why do that movement?
Yeah, it's just like a subjective thing, right? Like what's right, what's wrong. Again, like if you have strict pull-ups and strict muscle-ups and whatever, is the kip wrong? If you have good structural functional strength, is it wrong to kip? No, like it's not. In gymnastics, it doesn't even call, like when you say, you know, kippy, like that's, you know, like a muscle up, right? In gymnastics, you say do a muscle. That's just how people get to the rings. And for the layman, you know, that it's a big deal to be able to do a muscle up. I think it's just interesting, some of the videos that he plugged in were all from the CrossFit Games, right? So you're talking about some of the fittest people in the world. But again, if you're a purist, so an Olympic weightlifter looks at someone at the CrossFit, a CrossFitter, snatching or clean and jerking, I would say this. I would say you look at the highest end CrossFitters. Again, I'm talking about the professionals, not the laymen. If you watch me breakdance and play basketball, and again, it might look like those guys doing kipping pull-ups inappropriately. You look at some, all in all, again, great points, all, what he's saying. But again, if we could just step away from the clickbaity nature of the video to just like literally if we're having like a debate and kind of conversation, it's a subjective thing. I think if you were to take any of the individuals he showed in those videos, and he was showing guys like Chris Spieler and Rich Froning, these gentlemen that are professionals in that sport, and ask them to do strict variations of any of the things he wanted, by and large, this guy is going to inch them out on some of these more advanced gymnastics stuff. Yeah. But maybe only on maybe about 10, 15, 20%. If they went movement for movement, they played horse. He does his impressive one-handed pull-up, whatever, hands close together, strict bar muscle. He's going to inch those guys out. Inch them out. Same thing in weightlifting. High-end Olympic weightlifter, where that's all they do, they will inch out a top-end CrossFit athlete. Yeah. Now, ask this, I don't know if you heard the breathing and just the reps he was doing. Ask this kid to go ahead and, I want him to do as many burpees as he has tattoos on his body, and then ask you and me to do the same one of those, or again, a high-end cross. It's going to prove, holy shit, the kid can't even finish, and you're here. So if Glassman's original thing, to go to this whole thing, the specialist will inch out a CrossFitter in the specialty. Yeah. The CrossFitter will crush them in every other aspect out there. Like again, you ask this individual to do something outside of his specialty, he's going to fall very, very, very low. You ask a CrossFitter to do something out, within that specialty, they're still going to generally do it pretty well. So again, it's just a combative CrossFit video. I like the points he's making because I'm a huge strict first, then kip, and honestly, then strict 80-90% of the time kind of scenario. But yeah,
kipping, like, it has its place in competitions and stuff, obviously.
It does. It just, Greg Glassman even said in a recent interview, it's the one thing he wishes he would not have introduced to the CrossFit world like it got introduced. He wished it would have gotten so much attention.
Yeah, the stigma.
Yeah, because too many people went to that first instead of learning to do it the proper way, which I do. I agree with this dude. Like, like what Tats is saying is that there is a progression for everything, and unfortunately some people just don't learn that progression. But I mean, it's like anything else. There's a lot of really bad drivers out there that all have driver's licenses and pass the test. We can find anything and poke at flaws in it. But yeah, I mean, it's got valid points, and he obviously got what he wanted with 1 million+ views by making the headline what it was. So
yeah. All right, guys. So there it is. You heard it here first from a legit gym owner that has been in the CrossFit industry.
I'm waiting for when you make one and someone does a reaction video to CrossFit.
That'd be pretty dope. All right, time to do some fitnessing, and today's workout is a doozy, boys. I tell you what. We got a 200-foot sled push and straight into 15 burpee box jumps. That's a recipe for throwing up right there, I'll tell you what. And sled pushes and me do not mix well. Every time I do sled pushes, it just makes me feel horrible. Like, want to throw up, totally out of breath. Man, all right. So, but you know what? The things that really suck are probably the things you should be doing. So, I guess right there tells me that I should be doing them. So, we're gonna do it. I don't want to do this anymore. It's freaking just the warm up and the prowlers already suck so much. Down and back twice. Literally it's torture. Because on the way down, the last like 4 stall mats are new ones, so they're extra rubbery and it makes it so much harder to push the sled. So the hardest part is at the end, which makes it way worse. Oh, all right. Gotta warm up the box jumps, and then we'll get this thing rolling. Freaking 3. One set in the books, my legs are pumped. Getting through those last few mats is just the worst. Get up. freaking prowlers, man. They get me every time. I was moving so slow and my legs just felt like cement blocks. Oh man. Prowlers are like one of the most brutal and effective movements that we do in CrossFit. We don't do them very often, so I'm really bad at them. They tear me up every time we do them. Oh boy. Alrighty guys, my legs, man, it's like hard to walk right now. I know I sound like such a big baby, but I'm being truly honest. My legs are just toast.